Hey, thanks for tuning in today. My name is Jeremy Nicolaitis, and I'm the founder and CEO of Golden Octopillar, and we are on a mission to double the sales of 1,000 businesses in the next 5 years. And one of the ways that we're doing that is we're hosting an extreme business makeover. This is a 5-day challenge where we get together for 1 to 2 hours a day for 5 days in a row, and we implement a framework and a process for predictable sales and to get you on a path to doubling your sales in the next 90 days. So if you're interested, definitely see the link below or head over to goldenoctopillar.com/EBM. That EBM stands for Extreme Business Makeover. Head over there, get signed up. I'd love to see you on the next challenge so that we can get you on the path to doubling your sales and make you one of the 1,000 businesses that we're helping in the next 5 years. Now, beyond that, what you're about to watch right now is a great interview I did that's part of a series where I reached out to successful creative entrepreneurs and business owners to first talk to them about how they managed the COVID economy and how, when the world shut down, what they did with their businesses to stay successful and what they would do if they had to start over. If they were somebody that wanted to take their side hustle and make it their main hustle, somebody who was struggling because of what was going on with the economy, how can they help their business? What are the things that they would do? So it's full of great stories, great tips. These are great people and they're sharing their knowledge and their experience. And I'm super grateful for their willingness to be a part of this, and definitely watch them all because all the businesses are different and some of them may resonate with you more than others. So check it out. Definitely also check out their Instagram profiles and Facebook and follow them and let's just share some love. So hopefully you enjoy this one and all the other ones. All right. Thank you. Hey everyone, today I have the privilege of introducing you to Aaron Pinto, aka Kidsquidy. Aaron is a visual artist and the drummer for deathgrind band Gutslit from Mumbai, India. His illustrations revolve around themes of dark surrealism as well as lowbrow pop surrealism. But it doesn't stop there. Aaron is a multidisciplined artist working on various mediums like installation art, stage designer, director, art director, and animator. But wait, there's more. He also has been the lead designer at MTV India, where he won multiple design awards for his campaigns. And after, as of 3 years ago, he has decided to go independent, and he's been selected as the 8th annual 20 Under 35 Design by Design Showcase for illustration, which is a huge honor in India. Hopefully, I said that right. But Aaron, thank you so much for being here today. And why don't you just go ahead and there's so much there. If there's anything else I missed and a little bit of backstory of how you got to where you are right now.
Thank you. Thanks for that introduction, Jeremy. Yeah, I mean, you got most of it. You got the gist of it. If you want me to take you back on how I started this whole thing, I can break it down and tell you, like, I mean, everything that's happened in my career so far has been like, you could say a little bit luck and a little bit of hard work and stuff like that, but it's just being in the right place at the right time. So I started off in design. I graduated out of college and I was wasting my time away because I was trying to figure out what I want to do in general. So about a few months in of just being at home and just wondering what I want to do, I got a call from my friend. And he said, do you want to intern at MTV India? So I said, yeah, cool. I mean, I'm not doing anything over here. And MTV always been the cool place to work. Or, it's nostalgic. And plus, when I grew up and everything, it was always a big thing. And it's big in India as well.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go work over at MTV. Just twist my arm.
And like people like really like, you want the opportunity to just get in the door over there. But so he said, come for an interview and try and see whether you can intern over here for a bit and then see where it goes from there. So I said, yeah, cool. I mean, I'm cool to do that. And I went and so the person who was supposed to hire me as an intern decided she didn't want an intern. And she said, okay, cool. I mean, it's great, whatever you have and your, whatever you, I can see whatever is there, but I can't hire you at this point. And so I was like, okay, cool. And then I went back home dejected. I mean, not dejected. I wasn't expecting anything, but I dejected. And then I got, the next day, I got a call back again from her and saying that someone in her team needed an intern. So come and intern with them. So at that point, I was still not a designer, wasn't an illustrator. I am completely self-taught for the most part of my life. So So from there, I joined her team, and her team basically makes videos and these short format like these skits and all, and
right.
it's, video editing and stuff like that. So it was a completely different thing from what I'm used to, or I was even planning on doing. But since I was interning, I was just absorbing everything that I was getting. I did that for a while. I think for a year I did that because I really loved the environment, and and I was young, so I can really do this.
Right.
So I did it for a year, and then after a point I started realizing like this is not what I want to do. I don't want to sit behind an editor and tell him what to do. I'd rather be doing, and make my own stuff. And like I have so many more ideas. I think I could have done so much better.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I'm going to quit and I'm going to try and figure out what I want to do. So while I was working on MTV, I made friends with the people in the design team who are my closest friends till now. And, so they said, why are you wasting your time over there? Just come and just intern with us. You're wasting it over there. Just come over here and intern with us and see, because I can see that you know what is needed to be done, and, you have that aesthetic. And I was a little familiar with Photoshop, and, and just I've been sketching and stuff since I was a kid or whatever.
Yeah.
So he said, come and intern. So I said, okay, cool. And
this was back. So this was originally, it was like interning and working on like the editing on the skits and stuff like this.
Yeah.
But now this is now, but this is now back to.
Yeah. So while I was doing that, I used to talk to them and we used to hang out, and I always loved what they were doing more than like what we were doing.
Right.
Because it seemed like the kind of stuff that I was always inclined towards.
The design, more than the 2D design work. Yeah.
2D design they were doing. And the thing with the environment, the office over there, they had their own studio set up over there. So I would like accompany them, and I would see how they're shooting stuff like photography and everything, and use those as posters and billboards and stuff like that. So it always intrigued me, and always felt like maybe this is something I could do, but I had no experience. So they said, come and intern, and they made me design a few logos, and they saw that I had that thing. So they said, okay, cool, and they let me intern for a bit, and then the two lead designers over there, we had become really, really good friends, and they offered me a job. So while I was in MTV and with the design team, I learned Photoshop, Illustrator, and all these other softwares and stuff. And I just fell in love with it. And like, if I like a software or something, I will get into it, and I'll learn the ins and outs of it. So I pretty much, I rose up the ranks quite fast, you could say. And very soon, I was doing my own campaigns. I was shooting my own campaigns and stuff. And the thing with MTV is you can't be only illustration, and you can't make just one thing. You need to because there are different shows, different genres, different, everything. You have to learn a lot of styles of art to complement
hats.
Each. So I learned a lot of styles. I learned typography. I learned shooting. I learned photo retouching and all of these things. And and then my campaign started winning awards and stuff. And I came to a point where, I felt like I'd become comfortable, and I wasn't growing anymore. And I felt like I'm done with making other people look good, you could say.
I can relate to that. Yeah.
I think I want to take this. It was a big risk. I never thought of something. I want to take a risk, and I want to go independent and pursue life as an artist. It's not been done. It's not been done in my family. It's not been done. I have no blueprint towards it. But I was like, my gut's saying I should do it, and I put down my paper, I quit. And for the first 6 months, it was quite rough. Just trying to figure out what to do. Yeah. Figuring out your home environment. Basically, COVID before COVID. I was trying to figure out what to do.
Right, that's interesting. Yeah.
Figure out how do you spend time over here? How do you, contact people and stuff like that. First 6 months was a little rough. And then, one of my friends reached out and said, I have this project. Would you like to take over, like a freelance project, but like
Yeah.
I had to direct a animation film for them, for their channel branding. And I took it up, and from there, I mean, Touchwood it's just been soaring. Like everything's been going up.
That's great.
I got a bunch of I want that first campaign that I did won a bunch of awards as well. And from there, I've just been getting calls, and and I've been working on other styles as well in the process. So,
would you say you were getting that the like your clients and your projects were coming in because they knew of the last job you did? Was it that one led to another, or were they just all coming in different ways?
The first few jobs that I did get were because of MTV and of me being in the scene over there, and and people knowing that I work at MTV and all, they used to contact me and stuff like that. So after I quit, they were still interested in me working with with them. Or MTV itself called me to do a few freelance projects, which I was like, okay, cool, like I'm on board with that. And initially it was just friends and contacts, like the first wave of contacts that I had.
Yeah.
Then with social media and just putting out my work and, and just talking to people and networking with people, getting out and just talking and stuff, I landed a bunch of more clients in that sense.
It's great.
And, everything's just like you're piggybacking off the last project. And when you put that and you showcase that, you'll always find somebody, who's interested in that particular style. So, and for me, I felt like the plus for me, and I always tell my people who ask me for advice on design is learn different styles, because you never know what kind of project you're going to get at the end of the day, and you can be it could work in your favor. So so just been doing that, and then with social media, just using to my benefit.
This is so good. Yeah. There's so much in there. I know for you, you kind of feel like, you're saying like, oh, I kind of got lucky a little bit here and there, but I think you made some key decisions in the right place, that worked for you. It's funny. There's a lot of your story that is really similar to mine. When I went off to college after high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do either. And I was taking classes and I was doing things, but I felt like I had no direction. And I decided to stop going, and I came home. I told my dad, I'm like, I feel like I'm wasting your money. I'm going to come back. I'm going to get a job, and I'm going to figure stuff out. And for me, it was like, I just want to be creative. Like, I just want to create stuff, and got a job and, climb that creative ladder. But at the end of the day, I realized like my opinion doesn't matter. Like it doesn't, I'm creating other people's things. Like you said, I'm just making other people look good. Right. And it's like, even if they come to you and like, I want this, but you give them what they need. Like you don't exactly give them I guess you give them what they ask for, but more importantly, you make them look good. Your job is to make other people look good. You know what I mean?
And they keep getting the praise and everything. I mean, it's very shallow at the end, but it is something that plays at the back of your head,
Yeah, you need fulfillment. And for me, at the end of the day, I wasn't being fulfilled, and I think that relates a lot. And for you to take that leap, like you said, nobody in your family had done what you're doing and what you decided to do, and that takes takes a lot of confidence, man. Kudos, like, congratulations for doing that.
Scary. It's scary, but I'm 100% okay with my decision.
Yeah,
because that led to a bunch of stuff, in general. So I can say right now that I've done what I wanted to.
Yeah, and right before you said it was like COVID before COVID, like the work from home. I had to figure out how to work from home before we were forced to work from home. Yeah. I was thinking about that and what you were saying, and how we're doing this kind of COVID series and talking about how COVID affected people and what would you do, like how, if you had to start over, but you're talking about just starting from the beginning, like without COVID, right? Like, and I think the steps, and we'll get into it in a bit, but I think the steps are always pretty similar, and a lot of it is make the decision and take action. Right. Yeah. And then what's the low hanging fruit? You had your contacts, you had people knowing what you're doing, you're getting those jobs, and you're getting yourself into momentum, right? You're getting movement. And then it was like, okay, I got to start. What comes after the low hanging fruit? I got to start getting out in social media. I got to start marketing and start doing things. it's really cool. I think it's awesome that we're sitting here having this conversation, and hearing about it and sharing with it, because I think there's a lot of people that could be sitting on the fence and wanting to jump, but are afraid to jump because they're afraid to what might happen, or that they've been forced into a place where maybe they lost their job, or there's not enough work coming in because of COVID and everything's going on. What was kind of leading into the COVID conversation? What was life for you right before COVID? And then how did COVID affect what you were doing? And, how has it been for the past year?
Actually, right before COVID, life was, in terms of art and in terms of exposure and everything, life was really good. I was doing some great projects. I landed a stage design project for this festival, and I'd gotten rave reviews about it, and I had gotten orders to do a few more stages at a few more festivals, music festivals down the line. And I was just excited for what the future is holding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I was. The thing is, COVID hit right when I was hitting my stride, in that sense.
Yeah.
Where I was just getting into, expanding my my setup in a way, just putting my hands in different kind of pots and trying to figure out what to do. What can I do to level up? That could be the, before COVID. And then when COVID hit, everything again came back to a standstill. But in a way, my drive hadn't, deterred, or I had not gotten
right. Yeah.
So
because a lot of what you were doing was, and we've talked a lot about the design aspect and stuff like that would put you on a computer in a room, but you're a musician, right? Like you're getting out into places, and if you're talking about designing for it, you're talking about set designing is what you said, right? Did you say set designing?
Yeah,
right.
Design,
for a big live event, right? It's like a place that would gather lots of people. So that was quite a blow. Yeah, but go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I was just I wanted to emphasize how.
No, I mean, it was just if I'm designing on a computer and everything's digital in a way, and then it goes into print and whatever. Here you could see, when I spoke about the stage design thing, it's just you can see your work amplified by 100. Everything's just blown up. Everything's the scale of it, and people are appreciating a whole bunch of people. You're trying to convey what that stage represents to the audience and all. So that was for me a step up in my portfolio. And so then while like I said, my drive wasn't really diminished or whatever. So I decided, since there's no jobs, I'll do what I always been wanting to do, and the themes and the styles that I've been wanting to practice in a way. And I just decided, randomly, I just made this cyberpunk nun in a way, really with weird high saturation lighting and stuff like that. And I was on 3,000 followers. I'm not gonna lie, I was on 3,000 followers till then.
Yeah.
And I just made this nun, and I was really vibing with it, and I was just experimenting with brushes and stuff like that, and I put it out, and I don't know whether it was the algorithm or what really clicked, but it just blew up, and I just got a bunch of likes on it and a bunch of followers, and it got reshared and reposted and stuff like that. And I was like, normally I would make something and then I would move on to the next, and I would move on to something different and completely different. Yeah. I made the conscious decision to keep at this certain style and be consistent with it. And then every day or every alternate day, I would put this, we call them the sinisters at the end, these weird dark nuns at the, I made this whole series based on that. And from and I was doing other stuff as well, but I did this whole series, and from there, my followers just blew up. Like I reached 10K so fast.
Really? Wow.
Which I took like forever to do 3,000.
Right. Yeah. And so were you putting new hashtags on it, or did it just get picked up in the right place at the right time, or what do you think it is?
Yeah, it was a bunch of stuff. Like I think before that I was so caught up. I was just trying to figure out Instagram. You could say, even though you've been doing it for so long, sometimes it's just not. You're trying everything, it's not clicking. And just one day I tried this. I don't know. I also think that it was the time, I think 2020, start of 2020, there was the trend at that time was cyberpunk. And, at this kind of, I didn't realize that till the very end. Like there was a game coming out. And, that was the overall theme, which no one had said, but, it was in everyone's, view. In a way, like with the colors and with everything. And I think I just, got onto that opportune moment, and like, I just made this series, and like for me also, it was a little more, encouragement to keep doing it and keep.
Yeah.
And I was coupling it with other things like I really love making skulls and stuff like that. So I was doing that. So I got tagged as a dark surreal artist, I guess, at the end of the day. And it was something that I've always worked towards. It's just that I made the jump. I made the switch.
Yeah. So and it came from just doing what you personally want to do.
What I've been wanting to do for so long, but I really didn't have the inspiration or the know-how to do it. Here I just sat down, just try to figure out what to do, how to do it, and just troubleshoot. And it just clicked. And then I started learning about how to use your hashtags properly, what times to do it at, I just got into it, and I'm at 18K followers right now in this span of time. Yeah. Which I feel like it took me so long, just to make that first jump. And it's just been growing, actually. It's been growing exponentially. So it's been
That's awesome. So you went from 3,000 to 15,000 followers in a year? Is it the year? Less than a year?
Yeah, in a year. Less than a year, actually.
Yeah. That's awesome. I think,
it's a year. It's a year, almost a year now since this whole. So, yeah.
And did that then lead to more work and more business?
Yeah. I mean, so just based off that, I was getting, based off, when I feel like when your Instagram is popping, your reach is so much more that you're reaching all these random people which you'd never, really reach before. And I was getting clients mostly from States, but a lot from Europe and Brazil and Colombia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of commission, a lot of private commissions.
It's great.
A lot of campaigns, and that actually puts you on the radar of India as well. So if I just finished a campaign for Fanta. And, it's just basically if an overseas company wants to find the best artist from India or something, it just put me in that, tag. Because when they would search for something, my name would pop up. I'm not bragging or anything. It's just that what I observe with the statistics and the, everything.
Yeah.
So, and also with Instagram, my Behance profile was pretty legit. That's that's a good site for work opportunities.
Yeah. So, but it sounds like it's getting into that marketing momentum, right? And getting out there and getting the energy.
Yeah. So for me also, it just made that automatic switch that I was at starting. You're always a purist. You just want to make your stuff. I don't want to talk to people. My art will speak for itself, and all that. We try to feed these things into our head. After a point, I came to know I made the decision that I need to market. I need to level up. I need to just attack this from all ends and see what happens. So then I worked on my own e-commerce site, and I'm doing a bunch of stuff, doing collaborations, doing collections now with brands and stuff like that. So just based off being a little proactive initially and just riding that wave.
Yeah,
You know?
I think absolutely. I think I think one of the why creatives struggle the most, right? Like creatives struggle a lot. And I think it's, and just in terms of just making money, right? And being successful and financially successful to be able to take care of themselves. And I think a lot of it has to do is that we embrace this idea that we're creatives and we don't want to do business. We don't want to know about business. We don't want to be a part of that. But a time comes when you wish you would, right? Like you need to do that. Like we've got so much covered. If we would just learn some fundamental, business strategies and the foundation of business, right? We wouldn't have to work for other people. We wouldn't have to do some other job that we didn't want to do so that we could do our own creative stuff on the side. We wouldn't have to work a non-creative job to be creative at home doing the things we love, right? And that's a big part of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it is because I had been that person, right? I can relate. And I bought a print and marketing business and I didn't know what I didn't know, right? I went there thinking, I could do it, but I had no idea. And I think marketing is that first step, right? It's that first thing of getting yourself out there because they just need to know who you are, right? It's not about who you know, it's about who knows you, right? And if people don't know you, they can't ask you to do work for them. Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's very simple. You can't be entitled. Like you can't feel entitled that just because my work is good, they have to come to me. It's not going to come to you. That's the same mentality I use with with my bands as well. Like, when playing bands where like, they're like, why they aren't coming to us and why aren't we getting these opportunities? And it was a sense of entitlement, but it's like, I lost that a long time ago. It was like, you don't have to be entitled about all this. You need to put in the work and you'll get the results out of it.
Exactly. You got to make it happen. Yeah. You got to stand up on a box and ring a bell and tell everybody you're over here and what you're doing and come see me and do it more than you think you want to do it or that you should do it. And, just make it part of your routine so that you don't have to think about it as much. We've covered a lot. And I think, so for those that are in a position where they're hesitant to jump or, they need to start over or they just need to start for the first time, what are some foundational steps? We're talking about foundational steps, right? What should people do? Like what would you recommend people do to be able to do what you do, right? Or any kind of creative field to get up and running?
When I made the jump, I knew at that point I had learned everything I could from this place, from MTV, from the people I worked with everything. That was one of the main reasons why I wanted to make my jump. I felt like I had learned enough from them and I don't think they could have, I was doing the same mundane stuff again and again. Mm-hmm. And I felt like, it had come to a point where I couldn't learn anything more and I was just wasting my youth or my life away just sitting in the chair and doing that same thing. It was fun because my friends were there, but I had to think about, the bigger picture at the end of the day. So it's just, the first thing is to make that switch. I'm guessing even you must have experienced that. You keep saying that you want to quit, but you'll only quit when you reach that tipping point.
Right. Yeah.
So you need to make peace with that. Secondly, which I would advise is have enough money, keep enough in the bank where you can survive off it for the first 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
Because that's the time you need to figure out what you're doing.
Yeah. You're going to take a little bit of a dip. Like just expect it. It's going to come down a little bit. Yeah. But you keep going. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it.
Yeah, because you're so used to getting this big salary or whatever. You're getting a salary and you're used to a certain lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then you suddenly have to just do with whatever you have, and you've crunched numbers and figure out what to do. So have money in the bank a little bit, just enough so that you get on your feet or whatever. And also before leaving or at least a few months prior to leaving, put out feelers saying that, you're going to do this. To your friends, family, business people, whoever, just saying that, if there's work, there's something, just let me.
Yeah. The easy connections. Don't hesitate to reach out to your network of friends and family and colleagues and let them know what you're doing, because they all believe in you. They're all going to say great things about you, right? They all want you to succeed. So let them know. And I think that's great. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, those are the key points. And also, like, you need to have a proper setup at home. I feel like, your rig needs to be really good. You can't say like, this is not working, that's not working. You need to, if you're becoming a freelancer, you have to understand the timings are nothing. Like you can get a call at 3:00 in the morning and saying that they need it right now, and you have to be flexible. If you're leaving for vacation the next day, you have to be flexible enough that you take your entire setup with you and you can work while you're on vacation or whatever. Depending on the kind of, that's the mentality that you need to, kind of change.
Yeah.
And
but I think sorry, go ahead. I don't want to slow you down. Yeah. I was going to say there's a level of freedom that comes with that, right? That's less restrictive than I think having to do the same job at the same building for somebody else every day, right? If I have to get up a little bit earlier, if I have to get up at 3:00 in the morning to have a phone call, right? Which I do, like I have, and you're doing it right now. Thank you very much. But I'll have calls at 6:00 in the morning. I'll have stuff late at night because we are now working with people all over the world. Right. Yep. And then I did during COVID, I was working on an animation, for Paramount, and I was consulting for this animation. It was the release date was pushed. It was called Rumble, but I had to review stuff, right, in 3D. But we wanted to take a trip to go see our family, which is like an 8-hour drive north. Right. So I took my stuff. I took a 3D monitor, right? I took my computer and I took it so that I could go up there, and then I would, wherever I was, it would have like whatever family member's house, I would set up in another room that was private, that was safe and secure. Right. And I would look at stuff and send notes back to the team and whatnot, but I continued to work. But to me, that's not something that's a burden, right? That's part of the freedom, right?
It was part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I got to go, it's like, I got to drive for 8 hours. I got to spend 8 hours with my family in a car and then go be with more family and friends, especially during COVID, which was like, we're all confined to our little boxes, right? So it's like, we all had to talk and make sure we were good to be around each other and all that stuff. But I think there's freedom in that, and I love that idea of being able to work anywhere. And you're absolutely right. You got to have your stuff, right? You got to be able to, you have to invest in your business and in yourself.
If you don't have it, you need to be able to figure it out on the fly, because what that leads to is when you create that relationship with that client, you're going to keep getting those jobs again from this client. If you mess up once with them, you say no to a project with them, 90% they're not coming back to you again.
Yeah. Well, they may do the work with somebody else, right? Yep. And then while they're doing that work, another opportunity comes up and say, hey, I'm going to do this. You want to do this one for me too? Yep. And right, you lose the momentum. You lose the momentum.
And that's the thing. Like I feel that if you're a freelancer and you have a style and you can do this, I feel that you should, even if you're comfortable with the subject and you know a little bit of the subject and you would want to explore something and you get a brief on that thing, I think you should say yes as opposed to no, because just doubting yourself and saying, maybe I can't do it. Like I've said yes to most of the projects that I've gotten. And even if it's out of my comfort zone, I feel that, it just rounds me as a designer and artist. Yeah. And, it adds more to my portfolio. So I think saying yes and not being an elitist, I think that's what, if you're a freelancer, you need to be a little more chill and you need to be a little more understanding of your environment and what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, and those challenges are going to make you grow, right? You're going to take jobs that you think are slightly outside of your comfort zone, maybe outside of your skill set, but you can get there. Have the confidence in yourself to know that you will figure it out, right? And we're not talking about this jump that's so far that you're not going to be able to figure it out. You know, if it's in reach, you know that like, okay, you know, I might have to work for the first half of this project. I might have to work twice the amount of time because half of the time I got to figure out how to do it. Right. Yep. But I think if you look at that's where innovation comes in, right? That's where growth comes in. That's where you figure things out. This is good. So if I'm recapping properly here, we talk about getting a foundation of knowledge and experience, either from some form of education. And you're like me, you like to get that education, like boots on the ground, getting it done. You're talking about interning. You know, when I bought that business, I was like, do I go to business school or do I buy a business and just figure it out? And I did it, and it was painful, right? I took on more than I could do, but the learning experience was so good. And I think once you take action and when you're doing something where you're actually in it, you're learning so much more and so much faster, and you're growing so fast. And then being set up properly, like having the confidence, taking that jump, believing in yourself, doing it, but support yourself. Make sure you have the right equipment. Make sure you've got some cash in the bank to get through it. There's going to be a dip, right? There's going to be a dip in your finances, in the business activity, because you got to get it going. But you're reaching out to everybody you know, right? You're reaching out to everybody you know, your friends, your family, your colleagues, to spread the word, because there's people that they know, and it's just like social media, it spreads, right? Yep. And while you're doing that work, you're starting to market, you're starting to figure out social media, Behance, like working those networks. So when you run out of your, low-hanging fruit, those easy connections, the other connections are starting to come in, while you've also hopefully got some jobs from your easy connections, right? And then it builds upon itself. And you just keep going, and say yes even when you feel like saying no, right?
It seems weird, but it's actually a fulfilling thing. It's actually a good thing. And at the end of the day, after the project is done, you feel really good that you did.
You feel great, right? Yeah, you feel so good. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? And just know. And then as time goes by, I don't think that ever goes away if you're always growing, right? Because I feel it, but then you start to have those experiences from the past where you go, I know I can do this. I have no idea how I'm going to do it, but I know I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to do it. I've already done something like this 100 times, and it's part of the process. And
with that experience.
Yeah. I think you can also compare it. I had this thought the other day, and it just reminded me of that might be a bit stressful at times, right? It might be a little bit heavy, and there might be some worry, and you got to push through that. But the alternative, but you get all the freedom of working for yourself and being free, right? The alternative is the stress working for somebody else, but without the freedom, and somebody breathing down your neck, or somebody trying to tell you their subjective opinion is better than your opinion. And you're trying to explain that, no, these colors would go better together, or this shape looks really good. And they're trying to tell you something that's totally different because somebody who has no art background is telling them what to do. And you're like, man, this is really soul sucking. Like, this doesn't bring me any fulfillment and any happiness. I wish I could just be free, right? And I think that's the path to freedom.
I mean, you're going to get those clients in the freelance world as well.
Right. Good point.
Most of the time, it's just different guys all the time, different people all the time, and each challenge is different.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
As opposed to being in those four walls of a gray work environment, you're on your own. You have the comfort of your own place. And of course, a few, you're going to, it's not like freelancing is very easy. It's, you're going to have a few sleepless nights, but you're having a lot more good sleep nights at the end of the day.
Right. Yeah. You'll balance out at the end of the project.
Yeah, everything balances out.
Absolutely. Well, this has been awesome. Do you have any kind of additional, advice for anybody out there, something we might not have covered or doesn't relate to COVID or startup or anything like that?
I mean, if you do make the jump, just the one thing that I've noticed a lot with people who are my friends and like a lot of people who have made the jump, if you don't give that time after you quit for your business to grow, or for your clientele to grow, or your work skills to grow, and you're going to quit in the middle of it and then join another company, you're going to regret it
Yeah.
You need to give that. You need to be a little mentally strong to take those 8 months to a year off.
Yeah.
If you can get over that, it's smooth sailing from there. It's just that one dip which really can test you for a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a test.
It's mentally you need to be a little strong, saying that this will pay off in the end. That's just my advice. I feel I tell a lot of people that.
I think that's great. Yeah. And I can relate. There's times where I have caved and I've gone back. There's times and then I regretted it. And then you have to start over, because that feeling that you had before about wanting to jump and being uncomfortable over here and having this desire over here, that doesn't go away. It's going to come back, and then you're going to have to start over again, and you're going to have to go through it all over again.
Anxiety is always going to be there for sure.
Yeah.
But it's just that these three things that this sentence that gets me through is that it's going to pay off.
Yeah.
By putting the work, it's going to pay off.
Yeah. Yes. Awesome. Well, I kind of alluded to it while we were in the middle talking there, but it is 3 a.m. Now it's what? 3:45?
Yeah.
3:45. I am so grateful for you that you're talking to me right now and that you're up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you very much. Where can people find out? Where can people find you? What's the best way for people to find you?
Instagram, Kidsquidy, KIDSQUIDY. Behance also, just Aaron Pinto. If you type, I did this way back, so it's not Kidsquidy, but Aaron Pinto works over there, and on Facebook, Kidsquidy. It's just cool. These.
Yeah, and we'll have it in the notes and the captions and everywhere that we share this. We'll absolutely have your contact information, ways for people to contact you, so they can follow you and watch what you're doing, and hopefully also hire you to do things and send some revenue your way.
I hope this helps someone at least. Like, even if it helps somebody, it's good. Yeah. But it's a great chat. I really like chatting about this all long time.
Good. Me too. It's been awesome. Well, thank you so much. Hopefully you're going to get some rest now and then wake up and have a wonderful day.
No, I still have an hour of work left, and then
All right. When the time comes, sleep well and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was great.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, so hopefully you enjoyed that interview as much as I did, and you're checking out all the interviews. And remember, if you're looking to grow your business for any reason, head over to goldenoctopillar.com/EBM. That's EBM for Extreme Business Makeover, and we'll get you on the path to doubling your sales in the next 90 days. And also, don't forget to head over to Instagram and Facebook and follow all these amazing business owners and keep checking out what they're doing, because they're great people doing great things, and I want to share as much love as I can with them. So thanks, and have a great day.